Hello, this is Renee, and welcome to my channel, A Lot to Tell. There's an organization that I asked for help relating to my sister when she died. I asked them for an investigation before she died, and I still haven't gotten any responses from them until recently relating to the investigation that I asked them to start before she died. Like I said, with the Adult Protection Services as well. And I still find it quite amazing, the way that they're handling this, because I feel like if they would have handled it on time, a lot of things probably could have been prevented. But people keep telling me that I'm finding reasons to cope with what happened to her. But it's kind of odd that they're saying that against me now, because I did call these people letting them know about her blisters, the horrible bed sores. I took pictures of all of this, submitted it in, and then the response that came in from the Texas Department of Health and Human Services Commission came from one of their regional directors. And I just want to read partly of what it's saying, and that would explain a lot why I'm telling a lot to tell, because I'm sick and tired of this here happening. And it seemed like we have no protection whatsoever. Anyway, they did acknowledge that I submitted in a complaint. They said your complaint is currently under active investigation. But I also scrolled down and I noticed something that slightly bothered me. And it's saying our authority is limited to reviewing whether a licensed facility complied with applicable state and federal regulatory requirements. We do not determine individual fault, intervene in ongoing medical care, or make findings related to criminal, civil, or malpractice matters. So if they're not going to help us with the investigation, how do we get the proof that we need to file suit if we wanted to? Then it goes on to say, while the investigation is ongoing, we are not able to discuss allegations, evidence, or investigative activities. Any information you submit is reviewed within the scope of the regulatory requirements we are authorized to enforce. Once the investigation is completed, you will be notified of the outcome and provided with any information we are legally permitted to disclose. Can you explain to me why all of these organizations have been implemented to help us, but they're on limitations? They can't tell us everything. So how do I know you investigated the hospital? How do I know that you investigated the doctors or the nurses that were incompetent of her care if you don't tell me anything? I've done this before years ago when my mother died from a double dose of insulin. And you would think after 23 years things have changed, but evidently they have not. So I'm expecting to get in a mail probably or email where they'll say we did the investigation, but we did not find any this. We did not discover any blah 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 blah. When I sent all of y'all the pictures, the neglect right before your eyes. But as long as they're protected under these policies and rules and regulations for the hospital, instead of the state listening to our concerns, because that's what they were implemented to do, right? So instead of them listening to our concerns, fully investigating, letting us know what exactly happened, this doctor probably was at fault. This nurse probably was at fault. The PEG probably was at fault. But how are we supposed to know that if you're on limited investigation as well as reporting it back to us? So all of these organizations are getting paid a lot of money for funding for their programs, coming up with these lies saying that they will help us. And I don't call that help if you just limit the investigation where we don't get informed of enough information to work with. How is that possible? Give me your job and I'll show you how to do your investigation. You find out and see if that doctor or that nurse or that surgeon or whoever did the PEG were licensed. That's number one. And then number two, it ain't about following rules, policies, and regulations. It's about the care of the patient. Let me get your job and I'll tell you and I'll show you how to do it. Them rules they couldn't have helped her before she died. They sure as hell can't help her afterwards. That's why I said these state legislatures allow all of these nonprofit organizations, 501c3 programs, government, state, and offices opening up saying they're looking out for our benefit. They are our voice. But we get limited information to say what you did. Just like the Judicial Committee. I wrote to them about judges, and they told me they couldn't even let me know if they reprimanded this judge or not. And I went back to that courthouse again and put in a new filing for a petition, and guess what? That judge was still there. But on one occasion, y'all publicly showed what this judge was doing, because I guess y'all didn't get part of her $2 million that she sided with on the defendant's behalf. What is wrong with this state? What is wrong with this country? Do the people really matter? Do I matter? Other people that are poor and putting in all these complaints? Go look at Memorial Hermann Hospital Southeast reviews. They got a few good comments on there, but I put one on there for my sister. And so far I've gotten over 3,000 views just on those photos alone. Somebody came into my inbox right here on A Lot to Tell and said they were all lies. Another one come in, oh, why do people have to do this and that for you? You're not special. I never said I was special. I'm only here to educate and let people know what's going on behind the scenes. They want to be negative, they can be negative. That's not going to stop me, because I want those listening to me to know and to let everybody else know, so that we can go to each individual district and speak to these representatives about our concern. If enough of us make enough noise, I bet you they'll finally try to do at least something. Those codes need to be changed. Those rules need to be changed. Those policies need to be changed. Because all of those are doing is just killing us.